2020 has been a year unlike any year we have experienced in our lifetimes. The COVID-19 pandemic has forced many changes in our lives and also in how we perform our duties and carry out our responsibilities to those we represent as legislators. I recognized early on that one of my jobs as Speaker of this legislature is to protect the health and safety of all MLAs while ensuring full parliamentary representation and accountability. In order to fulfill these requirements this year, many changes were made, including physical distancing measures in the chamber and engaging the virtual options for carrying out the business of the Assembly. I would like to take a few moments now to thank and celebrate the incredible team who worked tirelessly over the summer and fall and every day this session to allow the Legislative Assembly of Manitoba to continue meeting during the pandemic by enabling the option to meet in this hybrid virtual setting. I will get to the team in a moment, but before I do, I want to thank all members of the Legislative Assembly and any of your staff who assisted in this effort. I deeply appreciate the patience you have all shown as we have worked through the odd problem here and there over the last 2 months. Adapting to this hybrid virtual model with all of its inherent quirks and modifications to existing practices has been a huge cultural shift for a 150-year-old institution, especially one that is not known for accepting rapid change easily. There were some technical glitches here and there, but no more than the average Zoom meeting. Thank you all for your perseverance and for the appreciation you have shown for our efforts. As I told you all on October 8th of this year when we held our first sitting in this manner, virtual sittings of the House are complicated operations. There are many moving parts to this endeavor, and our staff devoted many months of intense effort to make this process work as well as it has. As a result of that hard work, the Legislative Assembly of Manitoba now has the ability to continue to meet despite the many necessary restrictions and limitations on life during the COVID-19 pandemic. By providing this service to Manitoba's 57 MLAs and therefore allowing the citizens of Manitoba to stay in touch with their legislature, this team has served our province very well, and for that we should all be truly grateful. In addition to all of the technical requirements which make all of this possible, we also had to consider all of the procedural implications of such a change in our processes. This detailed examination of our rules and procedures happened in parallel to the technical process and took almost as long to perfect. The culmination of these efforts manifested in the sessional order passed by this House on October 7th. This step was a crucial part of making these sittings work. You may not know that through this achievement, the Legislative Assembly of Manitoba is leading the country in the depth and breadth of what we have accomplished here. So far this year, the House of Commons, the Senate, as well as the BC and Newfoundland and Labrador legislatures have all employed similar hybrid virtual models to conduct their House sittings, and we benefited from their experiences as we planned our infrastructure. However, Manitoba is the only jurisdiction in Canada to have successfully conducted 3 hybrid virtual sittings from 3 different rooms simultaneously. This incredible accomplishment occurred last month when we considered departmental estimates in the Committee of Supply. Just as these hybrid virtual sittings are far more complicated than a simple Zoom call, conducting 3 hybrid virtual sittings at the same time is exponentially more complicated and difficult. Yet we did it, and we will do it again as required. I can tell you that once this session ends, our team will not be resting on their laurels. Rather, they will continue to improve on the infrastructure which makes this all possible. When the House meets again in 2021, you will see some improvements, and the team will again ensure that we continue to put our best foot forward. I would now like to mention by name all of those who have lent their intellect, determination, and sheer hard work to making all of this possible. Some of these folks are elsewhere in the building at their posts, some are in the gallery, and some on the floor of the House. I would ask that for those in the chamber and the gallery, you please rise when your name is mentioned and stay standing. I will ask members to hold their applause until I have completed the list. First, let me mention the procedural team who determined how to best amend our rules and procedures, ensuring that the business of the House remained valid in the hybrid virtual model. Our clerk, Patricia Chachuk, led this effort with her usual procedural expertise. Our journal's clerk, Monique Grenier, ably assisted the clerk in revising and refining the sessional order. Research Officer and Clerk Assistant Greg Rexseidler also assisted in this work and other tasks. Our newest team members are the crew we needed to hire this fall to both operate the cameras in all 3 rooms and also serve as moderators for the virtual meeting calls. Graham Leachman, Hunchul Lee, Darren Morash, Graham Parsons, Richard Pope, Derek Robinson, James Rinn, Candace Smith, and Tony Wittink. As part of the development of this process, our team conducted several exhaustive live tests of the system with Assembly staff playing the part of MLAs in the chamber and virtually. Our MLA actors included Danielle Broadfoot, Julie Sass, Vanessa Gregg, Daisy Giesbrecht, Arlene Finkel, Marion Cronin, Stephen Day, Todd LaRue, Sharman Khan, and Sherry McQuarrie. In addition to the virtual component, we also needed to make a number of modifications to the chamber in response to COVID. Clerk's Office Manager Pat Melnick, Sergeant-at-Arms Dave Shuttleworth, and Speaker's Office Administrator Michelle Lapointe-Dixon all procured invaluable supplies for the chamber to allow us to accommodate essential physical distancing and sanitation measures. The technical crew who envisioned, experimented, toiled, and ultimately implemented everything you see and hear as part of this experience includes Trevor Melanchuk, the Assembly's Technical Operations Administrator, who found answers to the many vexing hardware and software issues that arose with our audio systems in all 3 rooms. John Kamchin, Media Specialist from Communication Services Manitoba, who planned, tested, and enabled all of the video equipment, cabling, and screens you see before you. John was ably assisted in these tasks by Keith Grift and Travis Golby, also from Communication Services Manitoba. Michael Fruch from Legislative Building Information Services was our team's primary IT support for the entire project. Tim Abbott and Kat Teft, our clerk assistants and clerks of committees, who led the mammoth project of testing and vetting many video conference platforms, created the guides for virtual members and moderators, as well as conducting one-on-one training sessions with almost every MLA. Becky Dirksen, our digital media specialist, who assisted in almost every component of this project and who took a lead role in training and mentoring our new moderators. And last but not least, Rick Yerish, our deputy clerk, who assembled and led this team with great determination and commitment. I would now invite all members in the chamber and virtually to show their appreciation for this remarkable team. As we all know, the pandemic we are all enduring and the necessary limitations we are all living with will persist well into 2021. No one knows when we can emerge from our protective cocoons. We do know, however, that this institution will weather this storm and that the mission of this assembly shall not be defeated or impeded. We shall carry on just as the people of Manitoba have asked us to, just as they need us to. Thank you.